All right, welcome back, folks and friends. Connecting Dots 2 here, aka Silver Gold Man. We are Friday, May 20th, and just a quick little hangout here. I wanted to make this video because I received several emails already regarding this Fukushima Expedition for Life, and thank you so much, the person that's already donated. And you know, you folks don't have to give me an excuse why you're only donating. May it be $5, $10, $20, $100. Honestly, if you don't have the money, I've said that before, don't worry about it. I'm still going to do the tour. If you want to help out, that's great. But if you can't afford it, don't donate, okay? And if you donate and you decide to do so and you only give out a small amount, you don't have to give me an excuse. I've said that before. You know, I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm just out here to seek the truth like many of you. And if you want to afford, if you can afford it and you want to help afford the truth and spend some money on the truth, then go ahead and donate. And so, yeah, don't worry about the excuses. And which brings me to the other thing. I really enjoy it when you folks send me emails. I've said that before. I wish the kind words that you send me in emails, I only wish you took the time to leave it in the comments. But honestly, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It really, you know, that's my fuel and my jet. That's what keeps me going. I love it when you folks send me emails or in the comments and you tell me, thanks so much, keep the work at it. You know, we enjoy the truth. And that means, I know that many of you is like, yeah, that's ridiculous. But to me, that's my fuel. It keeps me content. It makes me feel like I'm appreciated. People are noticing it. And yeah, it's so thanks so much. But the only thing is what I wanted to say is, you got to keep the email short. And I'm not saying that because, you know, some of you only wrote a couple of lines. That's great. But others, you make the emails quite long. And I don't really have that much time to read long emails. And so keep them coming. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying, don't write too much, or maybe we should do a Skype call and we can chat about it there. Anyways. This video, like I said, it's going to be a short one. I just wanted to go back over some of the points that I may have skipped over a little too quickly last night in that video on the Fukushima 2016 Expedition for Life. So I'm going to retouch some of those points right now in this quick little video. I guess the first one, and you know, it's because I didn't know subvert. I've said that before. I was educated in French and actually went and looked up what subvert meant and c'est subvertir. But again, we spoke English and French at home. Both my parents, you know, my mother had never finished high school. The same thing with my father. We weren't exactly speaking in high-end words kind of thing. So subvertir, it was not part of my vocabulary, I guess, or my grammar or whatever. I just did not use it. And if you want to hear it in French, subvertir from the lady here.
Subvertir. Subvertir.
Subvertir. So yeah, that's what it is. And subvertir in English is subvert, and which is a term that Adam Kokesh uses. It's you know, there's a lot of meanings here, but they're all come down to the same. It's undermining the power and the authority, and it's an attempt to subvert something, which is destabilize it, unsettle it, overthrow, overturn. And in his specific sentence, he uses it in the fact that the American government uses this guerrilla media or radio or TV in other governments, in other countries, I should say, to subvert those governments. So, and he was admitting that's his position. He's paid here by the Russian government to unsettle, destabilize, overthrow, overturn. I'm not sure about those two, but definitely destabilize, unsettle, and as I pointed out also, deter the truth movement, as he belongs with RT News. We've caught many other RT News hosts who've tried to refer to those of us that follow the chemtrails, because you may, if you're not aware of that, it's something I've done at Connecting Dots too. I filmed them over my city. In fact, they've actually changed their spraying pattern because of my videos. And you're saying, you're nuts. Yeah, well, whatever. You can think I'm nuts, but they know I'm out here with my camera. I've got a beautiful view of the sky, and I made these videos on 2 years in a row, and that was enough. They said, okay, let's change our pattern here. So they spray much differently over my city now. Now it's little squirts, and then they stop, and then the other plane will come on and after that and give another squirt, a little spaced apart but further ahead. You know, they eventually try to get that same artificial cloud cover over the city. They're just not as you know, upfront about it now. In the past, you know, before I was uploading the videos, these guys just spray back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I kept wondering, is like, is there not anyone else in my city that realizes that we're totally being shit on with this chemtrail? You know, I even started tweeting my mayor about it, and I believe it's because of the heat that I make on videos on YouTube, and the fact that I'm even tweeting the mayor about it, asking her, "Hello, can you look out your window right now, your office? Look west right now. Don't tell me that's normal." That kind of shit. Okay, folks, I'm very, very outspoken, and I have no problem leaving comments even to my chief of police, calling him out. Another Freemason New World Order. Here to what? He's trying to join up all the communities in basically a one world government. They're trying to collapse all these other communities into the city of Victoria. And you know, the city of Victoria where I live is so bloody corrupt. Oh, it's disgusting what past mayors have allowed, the corruption. I'm thinking about running. My friends are pushing me on it. And they, you know, part of the thing they want us to go after, they want me to deal with, is the fraud that's taking place in our city. There's people that have even written up in the local newspaper. They have an editorials section where they actually post emails that they've received and letters they've received from citizens from my city. And I couldn't believe, like, the citizens here, they're not all stupid, okay? There's a lot of smart guys out here, and they even wrote about the injustices that were taking place in my local government. And you'd think the mayor or the police force would snap into it and say, "Oh shit, you know, we've been discovered." No, nothing at all. The fraud continues on. The selling of public land, or of our land that belongs to the citizens of the city, going out the door to to contractors for cheap, for them to turn around and make gazillions off it. Fraud, Freemason fraud. So oddly enough, Adam Kokesh and the rest of these guys that are connected up with this RT News, one of the things they've really tried to piss on is the fact that we follow these chemtrails. And those of us like myself who've been around for a long time, I've said that before, I was a farmer boy riding a tractor at the 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. I did it for several years, riding a tractor in the open air on the outskirts of Ottawa, 60 miles away from the airport. I know what a contrail looks like. I know what a chemtrail looks like now, but I didn't find out till someone pointed out to me on the West Coast, this is what's going on here. I'm like, okay, yeah. So once someone explains to you what's going on, then you can start paying attention to it, and you realize, hold on a second. So there's many of you in the truth movement, you've really caught on to the whole chemtrail thing, and to have Adam Kokesh and this company here with the RT News, Max Keiser, Abby Martin, all pissing on us and calling us chemtards. Yeah, not chemtrail tards, chemtards. That was we're chemtards according to them. Yeah. So yes, I made the video here at the end. This is somebody's comment. This is what I was dealing with, which, by the way, I'll get back into the comments at the end of the show. There's none right now, but it's going to be a quick show. So if there's anything there, we'll deal with it. And last night, that's essentially what happened here at 47 minutes or 45 minutes. I get into the comments, and there's two shills there. Two shills, and one of them's trying to say that Adam Kokesh was just joking when he's admitting to working for the Russian government. So I'm like, yeah, well, listen, we'll play the clip here. You tell me if he's joking. He's absolutely not joking. So the fact that I'm noticing it, other folks are noticing it, and I've been connecting the dots, how it all ties up to RT News, doesn't surprise me. These guys are concerned. They're afraid, absolutely. And I'm the only one who's bold enough to make the video saying, hey, you know what? They need to be tried and then hung. Yep, We don't need none of these scumbags. Okay, I've said it up front. People said they'll end up killing you. Well, yeah, there's a good chance it may do that, but hopefully it'll wake up the rest of you that sit there and do fuck all about it. Okay, that's the way I see it. Somebody's got to stand up. There's got to be someone who takes a stand and says, enough with the bullshit, okay? It's the same thing with the Dana Durnford. I live here on Vancouver Island. I'm going to take off, go up to his shoreline, because that's essentially where his bullshit started. He avoided the sea creatures right on his own shoreline in Powell River. So I'll hop in a ferry. I've said that before, that I live right here on Vancouver Island in the city of Victoria. So I'll hop on the highway, and once I get down to Comox, take the ferry over to Powell River. And I also mentioned in last night's show how Dana had claimed that he had been assaulted by one of the gentlemen in his hometown that runs a fishing tour company. And unfortunately, we only got to see 18 seconds of the altercation, but I knew darn well back in 2014 when this happened that there was a lot more to the story. So I called the gentleman, I interviewed him. That's over on my Connecting Dots 2 YouTube channel in my 2014 Fukushima fraud videos. But essentially, we found out that the story was all, we weren't getting the truth. Dana was lying. That's why he only put 18 seconds. The gentleman told, there was a big altercation because Dana was interfering with the gentleman while he was doing business, telling him what? The Pacific Ocean is dead, and the guy does fishing tours. Yeah, right off his coastline. So when I interviewed the gentleman, you may recall how he spoke about how back in the day, they're really happy when they would see the odd orca show up by Powell River. He says, you know, it was a big thing back then. He says, now we see them every day. And oddly enough, is not what one of my past videos I shared in the video, if you watch it to the end, the one where I was speaking about the whales, this one right here, Connecting Dots, Fukushima Radiation and Dead Whales. Somewhere near the end there, I share an article, and it was about the baby boom of killer whales right up here, and was an endangered pod. And turns out that in 2015, they had almost set a record in baby births, baby calf whales that were born in 2015. There were 6 of them. The past record was 9, and that was in 1979. So everyone was just like, yahoo! That's why I was telling folks, don't believe Kevin Blanch telling you all the salmon are dead and blah, 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 blah. Oh, they're suffering certain places, but, you know, there's many, many creeks here, and there's many salmon runs. And if the salmon were all dead, like these guys were saying, well, we wouldn't have, a boom in calves. It's the same thing in 2014, or was it 2014? I pulled out stories showing how the whales, the Pacific, the blue whales were on a big comeback. Their populations were back to the same levels as they were when they first being recorded back in the 1950s. That's right, a boom in the whales. And I also shared an article from the University of Seattle that were essentially doing a research on the Pacific Ocean and the life, or how much life was in it. And they found that the whales, the increase of whale, listen to this, poop. That's right, poop. Poo-poo-pee-doo. Turns out the whales were feeding the ocean because it's one big, yeah, a load of fertilizers shot into the ocean, and that creates all type of life, right? It's the same thing on the farm. You spread the manure around on the hay and on all your crops, they're going to be much healthier. Okay, that's all part of composting. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but like I said, I'm a farmer boy, and I was introduced to that back when I was like 11 years old. So that's the way it goes. Poop is good. It's not all bad. And as I said, I'm going to go down to Dana's shoreline here because the scam all began right on his shoreline, and I hope to hop on a free trip because this was offered to me when I interviewed the gentleman from Powell River that owns the fishing tour. He offered to take me out on his boat for a couple hours. So while I'm down there, I'll see if maybe he can get to take me out on the boat, and hopefully we'll get to see some of these killer whales. if you listen to the interview back then in 2014, he also spoke about, I think it was whitetail dolphins that would only show up again, kind of like the killer whales, only once in a while, except now he was saying the pod was there year round. And I think there was 1,000 of these dolphins in that pod. You have to go listen to the interview again. I can't remember. And he also spoke about massive herring runs all the way up the coast from Lund to another town. I can't remember which one, but he was just talking about a massive group of herring that were up here. So I'm hoping to not only visit the beach in Powell River, but hopefully I'll go out on the boat tour. And I was saying last night that not only am I going to do Dana's Beach, and also I'll be leaving from not at his home, but where the trailer park begins. I'll start from that street and I'll drive down, and I'll show you the kilometers on my vehicle so you can see at how many kilometers I begin with and how many kilometers it takes for me to get down to the beach from Dana's home. This is why Dana's going to be upset, folks. Oh, trust me, he's going to be very upset, because you folks are going to be like, what? He lives that close to the beach, and that son of a bitch is getting people to give him money, telling them it's all dead? That's what's going to happen to a lot of you. I know a lot of you don't like the videos that I make right now, but I'm all about the truth. I'm not about the bullshit. So I'm just telling you right now, brace yourself, because he's filling you up with bullshit. And once I go down there and I pull out my camera, you're going to be shocked. I'll even go down straight down to the docks. I won't go anywhere special too. I mean, the same, his shoreline. I'm not going anywhere special. It's a shoreline. Okay. I'll even take a walk down these docks if they allow me to. And we'll get some footage. You guys want the truth, and you're gonna be shocked. I'm almost willing to bet there's going to be so much sea life down there that people are going to be, oh my God, Dana totally lied. I already know he did, but I just want to go down and film it myself and upload it on YouTube, so then we have actual visual proof of the conditions of the shoreline right in his hometown. That's going to be like, that's going to be the kicker. Okay? That's going to be the kicker. And unfortunately, I can tell by this type of shoreline, there's not going to be a lot, okay, because it's all round pebbled rock. I've said that before. You don't get a whole lot in those type of situations, but I'll still look around here. Okay, there's probably a lot of birds there. I can see lots of vegetation, green algae, or weeds, or whatever the heck it is there. Lots of green there, but I'll do his shoreline. I don't want to go into the trailer park. Somebody was saying, asking me if I was going to take a picture again, and I'm like, no, that was the picture that we had that was supplied to me was from one of the locals. Okay, Dana attracted a lot of attention in his hometown in 2014, and this is a small community. So when you're going around telling people that the Pacific Ocean is dead because of Fukushima, and you even go down to the local boat tour area and you harass the guy, and the guy has to kick you off his property and call the RCMP, I hope you understand, news gets around very quickly. So that whole orchestrated event by Dana backfired on him, and a lot of locals actually don't like him now, and that's why I've got so many people from his hometown that had contacted me. And even like I made a video here how one of the women who had been ripped off her husband's tools and all his watches, all of that was returned when I made the one video about the guy that was Terry Denyo, who had helped Dana scammed everyone back in 2014. It's because I put local pressure, and she said, and she called me up. Sorry, she didn't call me up. She sent me an email the next day. She says, you wouldn't believe it. He returned everything at the RCMP office. They told me to come down and pick up everything. I'm like, whoa, that happened fast. And that's all because they live in a very small community. And this is why Dana, does not want to go along his beach and do stuff, but I'll do it for you folks. And I also mentioned what I plan on doing is leaving Powell River, and I'll travel down the same area here that he did in 2014. Okay, he did 200 kilometers all the way down to Gibson's. I don't know if you ever heard of the TV show, The Beachcombers. but that's the town that was all filmed in, the Gibson's Landing. So essentially, I'll be down there, and we'll travel all over the place. And then last night's video, I showed a little bit of footage from Half Moon Bay. I plan on going back to Half Moon Bay and pull out the camera down at the docks, and I'll get you some footage here so you folks can see what it looks like compared to what was showed last night in the video from Claire Stanhope. Okay, now what else? I'm trying to think here because I was asked a couple of questions. Yes, your name is revealed when you send me a PayPal donation. There you go. That was one of the questions that were asked. Yes, but I don't share your name. I don't. I keep that all private. So you don't have to worry about that. And what else? If I think of it again, if I think of another question that some of you were asking, I'll come back to it. So the arrest, because that was one of the things someone had asked about his night in jail stuff and the documents that I had. So essentially they somehow got the video removed. Okay, I didn't violate any of YouTube's policies on spam, deceptive practices, or scams. There was nothing deceptive there. Okay, I spoke the truth, and I shared information that I'm about to share with you again, so I wouldn't be surprised if this video gets taken down again. And the information that I was sharing, it was Dana's file number. Dana didn't want that, and he also, I guess, he didn't want to know that he was going by an alias, Terry Daniels, which is oddly enough the same name that he was referring to the gentleman who provided the $600 for Dana to be in that 9-day 200-kilometer Pacific Coast expedition for life. This one here from his Powell River all the way down here to Gibson's. Well, that part of that money was supplied by a gentleman or a scammer by the name of Terry. Well, we were told it was Daniels, but I was informed by his sister-in-law that his last name was actually Daniel. It was a French name, Terry Daniel. And yeah, so Dana didn't want this stuff, and there's also links here if you want to watch Dana Durnford before he was arrested and after he was arrested. You'll quickly notice the difference in the tone, the words used, the aggressiveness used towards people, towards specifically those that don't agree with him. Hunt them down, track you down with your IP address, find out where you live, tar and feather you, hang you from trees, machete you in the street while we sit back and watch and laugh. The disgusting words, I'm not going to repeat them all. The video's there if you want to watch them. There's another one there. Again, just outrageous stuff. Okay, so that's what landed him in court. Just if you're wondering, because I noticed that in one of Dana's live shows today, the person Shawnee couldn't understand. She says, "Why is Dana under arrest? Why did he get arrested for?" Of course, Dana's banned me and blocked, so I can't say, "Hey, Shawnee, it's because of this." But essentially, anyone who's watching this now, if you want to come watch this information, it's in this thread here at connectingdots1.com. You'll have to do a search on Fukushima fraud, Dana Durnford arrested. So you can actually just copy those words, and I have a search engine right here on the website. And I'm sure if you do this search, I'm going to do it right now just to make sure it works. Okay, there you go. 15 matches, and it brings us all to the same article. Okay, so essentially, if you watch this, if you want to find out more about it, you can watch those videos that I was just showing you right here. Okay, Dana Durnford before and after the arrest, more clips. And now I haven't really followed this because, to be honest with you folks, and I said I would, all of us, because those of us that, even those of you that leave comments in his videos before he has a chance to delete them and ban you, many of the people that watch these videos have an opportunity to see your comments. And same thing when you share my videos or anybody else making videos pointing out his fraud. It causes them a lot of grief. And one of the things, the reasons why I had not continued following very closely his court things is because, number one, I was watching some of his videos that someone was feeding me, and they were letting me know what was going on, and it wasn't a whole lot. He's on probation right now, and he's got a court hearing coming up. When is it again? Very shortly. I think it's in the next couple of weeks. That's why he's kind of stressed out right now. He knows that he's going to lose his court case, and he may be shut up from making YouTube videos. That's what I'm pushing at here with the Crown. So I didn't continue following his court stuff because we're kind of just sitting here in probation time waiting for it to go down. So those of you that wanted to follow again, there's the document reference number. So if you want to call up the Ministry of Justice here in British Columbia, Ministry of Justice, you can actually do a search yourself. If you go to their website, you can do a search specifically on that file number, okay? The 16702.020/1. If you guys want to follow it up closely, but at this point, we've caused him so much. He's lost a lot of, people that were following him, that were leaving comments. They've just vanished. Even the names that he keeps giving shout outs to, like Stacy Lane 74, she's gone. She's been out of here for a year. Miss Milky the Clown barely even leaves a comment anymore. She's been caught so much herself. She's doing everything she can herself to try and protect her videos, because she knows people have called her out. She's part of the Energy News, part of Arnie Gunnarsson. Don't think Dana will ever do that, call her out. But these people, their shit shows in a lot of trouble, folks. It's the same thing with Adam Kokesh and Abby Martin. Their shit show doesn't fly on YouTube.